Sorry about that, just want to make sure. And to remind planning and zoning to turn on your mics and speak into them clearly when you do. I want to thank Craig Collins, City Planner, Christie, Administrative Assistant of Community Development, Mr. Wallace, Deputy City Attorney, Liz Becker, Director of Communication, Community Development, and I would also like to recognize that Bruce Snell, our liaison for City Council, is here in attendance. I will accept a motion for approval of July 21st, 2022 minutes.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from July 21st.
Okay.
I'll second.
Thank you. I have a first and a second. Any discussion? Oh, okay, cast your vote. We're just doing thumbs up. Okay. And record the vote.
All members voting aye, the motion passes.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going, our first case this evening is ANX 2027-2022 petition for annex of 2.0 acres located at 3025 Paradise Drive into the Casper city limits. Said parcel is closed, described, platted as Dowler number 2 subdivision, track 8, applicant Paradise Valley Christian Church. And our ZOC 2028-2022 petition for a zoning change of the 8.2 acre Paradise Valley Christian Church property located at 3041 Paradise Drive and the 2 acre property located at 3025 Paradise Drive, which is currently being considered for annexation into the city of Casper. The proposed zoning requests will make the zoning of all the church's 10.2 acre property uniform as a C2 general business. The current zoning and properties of PUD, planning unit development, city designation, and an SR1 county designation. The properties are legally described as Dowler number 2 subdivision, track 8, and their Paradise Acres addition, applicant Paradise Valley Christian Church. Staff report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. An annexation has been requested for 2 acres located at 3025 Paradise Drive. The Paradise Valley Christian Church intends to construct a new church on the property. There are 3 existing structures on the property, a residence, an outbuilding, and a school building. The owner plans to demolish the residential structure but retain the other 2 buildings on the site. The parcel is contiguous with the existing city limits along both its south and west property lines. Therefore, the property is eligible for annexation. In a companion item, the Paradise Valley Christian Church has applied for C2 zoning approval for the parcel being annexed. Additionally, at the request of the city staff, the owner has also included their 8 acre parcel immediately south of the property being annexed in the zoning request. Churches are listed as permitted uses in the C2 zoning district. The 8+ acre church property is currently zoned PUD, planning unit development, and a city of Casper zoning classification, and the 2 acre parcel is being annexed is zoned SR1, suburban residential 1, under Natrona County zoning. The PUD zoning district is the most flexible zoning classification in the city and allows for most any land use. The proposed C2 general business zoning district is therefore more restrictive than the current zoning of the property, in that light and heavy industrial uses would no longer be permitted. Prior to the construction of a new church, site plan approval will be required. Depending on the size of the eventual church, the site plan may or may not require Planning and Zoning Commission approval. The only standard public infrastructure that is currently lacking is public sidewalk along the Paradise Drive frontage of the property, which will be addressed when the site plan is submitted. Currently, there are no other adjacent sidewalks along the east side of Paradise Drive. The balance of the staff report provides supporting information from the Casper general plan and how it relates to the request. I have no conditions to recommend tonight. I have no public comments, and we have 6 exhibits to enter into the record. A is the annexation application, B, zoning application, C, vicinity map, D, legal notice, E, notice of public hearing sent to property owners within 300 feet, and F, memo to the chairperson and members of the Planning and Zoning Commission. That concludes my report, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions?
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Planner, again, explain why I think, okay, the whole idea, if they of course want to tear down and build a new church, they want to tear down that one cabin, and the city's policy is before they get a permit that they have to annex into the city.
It's not, you're almost correct, Mr. Chairman. It's the water and sewer that is
Water and sewer.
that they would need, obviously, water and sewer for that new church, so that would necessitate the annexation.
And that's this, and there was nobody voiced any concern about it or anything like that.
Surprisingly, no. This neighborhood, as you probably recall, was one of the most controversial cases this board has heard, and we're expecting to field some questions and really not much interest, which probably says a lot about the church being a good neighbor in that area.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay. I would like to advise all the applicants that it takes 4 affirmative votes to carry any motion, and we do have only 4 commissioners. Not just a simple majority of those members present. Anything less than 4 votes is a denial. Applicants can postpone their public hearing till the next month in anticipation for more planning commissioner members being present if they so desire. I now declare the public hearing open for consideration case number ANX 2027, 2022, and ZOC 228, 2022. The hearing will be conducted in accordance with state statute, the rules of the Planning and Zoning Commission, and other applicable laws. I would ask the individuals who address the commission to identify yourself, state your address. Would the person representing these cases come forward and explain the application?
I'm Dan Elston, representing Paradise Valley Christian Church. I live at 85 Primrose Street, Casper, Wyoming. And the purpose of building the church, our church is currently located at 188 Valley Drive. And we have a Paradise Valley Christian School and high school and another structure on that property, and that is, our desire is to build a church that will hold 500 congregants. And in that, we would be able to go from 2 services to 1 services, plus also I'm losing my train of thought there. Anyhow, it would be beneficial to us to do that, and it's been a long-range plan to do that. They have been planning on this for a number of years. We now have the funds available to start the project. We are looking at this time at building the core and shell, and with the lead times in construction today, we need to purchase that building this fall as soon as possible to have delivery by next spring. We anticipate to put up the core and shell by next fall and then finish the interior of the building. And the purpose of that is to not have a construction site that extends a long period of time, to get the core and shell and the site taken care of first. Okay? If there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Mr. Chairman. Yes, I was just wondering, Dan, did you have a chance to talk to the lady right north of your property, Mrs. Williams?
After our discussion, I determined that I would not go and visit with her, so I did not talk with her.
Did not talk with her.
No. So.
Thank you.
Yes.
That's wonderful.
Yes. I may explain that with me working for the city of Casper, I did not feel that it would be beneficial for me as a city of Casper employee going and talking to a citizen about something that we're looking at annexing into the city. I felt personally that could be a conflict of interest, and I did not want her to think that I was there to pressure her into something.
Sure. Her main
my position.
concern, her main concern was the city annexing further on east, down that road. What, but there's no plans to, I guess, to annex further on east, Mr. Chairman, where the parkway is.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, the city has no plans to do any annexations. It's all development driven. So if there's a development project, obviously we would look at annexation, and it would have to be contiguous with the city limits and meet the other requirements of state law. But right now there's nothing that we know of that would trigger that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Is anyone else?
The route of the new sewer and water lines, will they go directly across Paradise Drive, or do they come through other properties, or
They come from Paradise Drive into the property directly,
there?
yes.
So it doesn't affect anybody's property, but
No. I do have some conceptual drawings if you so desire to look at. It shows it. We will hire a general contractor. This is not something that the church is going to provide the labor to do. As far as for the major portion of the erection of the structure, there will be voluntary help on the interior portions that we deem that we're able to do. We also know that the size of this building requires an architect. Architects are being interviewed at this time. And plus, they'll need engineered drawings for mechanical, plumbing, and electrical, and that's also being taken care of in that way. So we have an estimated budget between $2 to $3 million on this project. So we believe we have everything going. This is a conceptual drawing. It is going to be, we are hoping to have an EIFS finish instead of a metal building finish on it. It might not look exactly like that, but it's very close to that, okay?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to enter the photos that were submitted by the applicant as Exhibit G.
Thank you. Can we go back to the first screen that you had up for me, please?
This one?
Yes. Now, I'm trying to really quick read through this, but I couldn't find it. But my understanding is there is a structure that you will have to tear down in order for to build the church. Is that accurate?
That is accurate. There's a residence there that we will remove. The site plan will require that to provide the adequate parking spaces for the occupant load. And so that is currently owned by the church. Dr. Erickson is a church member that's involved with this on this committee also. And that is going to come down to be part of the parking lot.
And that's where that house is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, and then the two buildings behind it, those will remain, is that my understanding?
Yes, the three remaining buildings there, the one with, to the bottom of the picture is the present Paradise Valley Christian School. The next building to the north of that is the high school, and the next building is a storage building, and they will remain.
Okay. And the size of the building the size of the church will be suffice for that size of the property?
Yes, it will, yes.
Okay. I don't have any further questions. Anyone else?
Just, Mr. Chairman, the sidewalk, so there will be a sidewalk put in along your property, correct? But then it's not contiguous on either side of that, right?
The site plan is being created by WWC Engineering to be submitted to the planning and zoning for all their requirements.
Mr. Chairman, I'll address that. We haven't looked at the site plan yet, obviously, because it's still in development phases. Sometimes we do require the installation of sidewalk when we get the opportunity. Sometimes we defer that to later, and often we leave that decision up to the applicant. Sometimes they'd like to put it in now because it's a known cost and they want to get it out of the way, and they don't know what the cost is going to be 5 years from now when we do a more comprehensive project. So it's a little up in the air.
Lots of kids walking along that stretch at certain times of day, so
Yes.
just curious.
Okay, anyone else? Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
As required by the state law, we have to invite people to comment in favor of or in opposition to the public hearings. Is there anyone to speak in favor of this case? Seeing no one, is there anyone that wishing to speak opposition of this case? Seeing no one, there being no one to speak for or against this case, I now declare the public hearing closed and advise that annexation and zone change will be voted on separately. I will entertain a motion to approve and forward a due pass recommendation to the City Council, deny or table case number ANX 227-2022 regarding the annexation.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we
Do pass.
do pass Annex 227-2022.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Discussion? Seeing no discussion, please cast your vote.
With all members voting aye, the motion passes.
I will entertain a motion to approve and forward a due pass recommendation to City Council, deny or table case number ZOC 228-2022 regarding the zoning.
Mr. Chairman, I would make a motion to approve and forward a due pass recommendation for ZOC 228-2022 to approve the zone change of the 8.2 acre properties at 3041 Paradise Drive and 3025 Paradise Drive.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Okay. Do we have a discussion?
Mr. Chairman, whatever the outcome is here, if the residents in that area don't approve of it, they still have the choice to go to the city council, that's a final say. I
Correct.
just wanted to say that.
Okay.
Because I've heard from one resident, and so that's why I just want to make that clear that they have it, the city council is the final decision, which you know, I'm sure.
Thank you for mentioning that, in case they're watching. Appreciate it. Anything else? Okay, if not, let's vote.
With all members voting aye, the motion passes.
Moving on to any commission communication.
Mr. Chairman, you're looking at me, is that, I mean, you want, other than under the Community Development Director?
Yeah, sorry.
Just to let everybody know and throw something on the table, next month we are transitioning to our second Thursdays instead of our third Thursdays. The date of that meeting is September 8th. We did not have any applications come in on time, the 30-day prior to that. So we do not have anything to discuss at our regular meeting next month. So in speaking with the chairman, a couple options: we can cancel the meeting, or we can do a training that night. So I just wanted to generate discussion and see if we would have enough attendance for training, or if people just wanted to take a month off, or what you guys wanted to do with that. And this far ahead of time, we can notify people on the website, and shouldn't cause a problem, whatever we do.
So,
I was just wondering, if we cancel the meeting, is that going to delay any contractor or anything like that?
No, there's, nobody brought an application in, so they wouldn't be eligible until the October meeting anyway.
Okay.
so when he brought that up, I figured with it being a new, we switching it from the third Thursday to the second Thursday, I figured a training would be helpful, for us to be, get in the, I guess, motion or recognize that it's gonna be the second one. And on top of it, the training that they have been putting on, I think has been very educational for us. I think it's been helpful, in a lot of ways. And so therefore, I feel that, it would be nice if we planned even an hour training. We were gonna plan for it anyways. However, what do you guys think?
Yeah. What are the odds of us having the new person appointed by then? Slim to none, not happening? Okay. Just curious. Because that would be nice if we're to have that person on board before we do our next training, just because we do get so much out of it, and it's already hard when you're just starting, and so.
Mr. Chairman, I might be leaving town in September for a few days. Our anniversary is on the 6th of September, and we're thinking about taking off somewhere. So if you don't have, I just want to, go on without me, but if you want us to wait for a month and have a meeting October, since we have nothing on the agenda, that's fine with me, unless you got whatever you want to do. But if this,
We're missing some people. We don't know about their schedules either. Is the yeah. It's hard to make a call when a lot of us aren't here. It's sort of a little tricky.
Go ahead.
I'm fine on the 8th, but do we want to send out an email and just see how everybody else is?
How soon would you need to have an answer if we wanted to have a training on the 8th?
Yeah, because you have to publish it, right?
Yeah, we would need to publish it, so 2 weeks ahead of time. So we have a couple weeks really. No, actually we don't have a couple weeks, we have 1 week.
So, can we send out an email and have an answer by the 25th,
We can,
next Thursday, whether people want to have a training on that day, and then just send an email, yes or no,
We
to
will.
us, and then we can do it publicly.
Thank you.
Okay. So
and
let's
we
plan
will
that.
definitely put it on the website and publish if necessary, so that the public can have access to that too if they like.
Perfect. Anything from our community development director?
Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, we do have the open position posted, and we would end up doing our interviews in September, and then it goes to council for appointment. So